and leave comments, because the more people subscribe, the more the algorithm sends out to more viewers, and those viewers can join not just a live chat but a live stream, and also post their tips and tricks or post requests, which I can research and share with everybody. Okay, now on to the show. Intro. Easy PHP shortener tutorial. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to create something similar to this. Actually, we're going to create that exact thing. Basically, just somebody's going to put in the URL. For example, I'm going to use this URL for this this tutorial. And when you click generate short URL, it's going to create a shorter version. So when it says here yourdomain.com, that's going to be obviously your, for example, if this was going to be a real site, that would be the domain that you purchase. For example, these days you can purchase very, very short domains. So definitely I would purchase one of those ones if it's going to be a, for example, public facing one. Obviously, if it's internal, you can do whatever you want, but if it's a public facing one, you, for example, like YouTube has, u.b, things like that, very short. So YouTube, and then obviously just have the number at the end of that, and you can do that. So this, in this case, because we're using PHP, see the one that's going to be redirect is going to be r.php, and then some code or something that you can always use some ID or something. But the problem with using the ID from the database, that does work. The problem with that is it's pretty easy to guess that the next number is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to make it kind of random. That's why we have that. And I said make sure the URL is also it's also shorter, because for example, if it's ojambo.com, that's already pretty short. So for example, I go yourdomain.com, that's actually bigger than ojambo.com. Might as well just use ojambo.com to create it. But that's how that's basically the gist of it. Obviously, if I added pretty URLs, I could probably just get rid of this, because for this particular domain, just just redirect it into r.php. I'm saying there's lots of things you can do that way. All right, so if you're impatient, we're going to need a database in order to store the original URL and obviously the short URL. So what will happen is when somebody visits the URL shortener link, it will grab the short URL, match it to the long URL in the database, and then redirect automatically. And our form for the shortening URLs, so the code is all here, I'm saying. So if you're impatient, just copy paste it and we'll get started. And then for the JavaScript, we're going to use the fetch API. The reason I'm doing fetch API is because it's just easy to, and so I'm just teaching you guys as well that use modern APIs that were created there for a reason. And then obviously for the PHP stuff, there's one that shortens it, that saves it in the database, and this r.php, that's the one that grabs it and does a redirect. Okay, so basically place this on your server or your so-called server, the one that does the redirect. Yeah, I said again, if it's localhost, you can do that as well, but nobody's going to use the localhost, right? So I'm saying you most likely want a public one. And here's some screenshots. I'm not going to go through them because we're going to actually open this up in a text editor. So I'm not going to spend too much time on. I'm just going to zip through them because I'm going to go through them again. I don't want to do it two times. All right, and this is a live stream, and there we go. There we go. So that's live. I'm just going to go and end it right here. That's good. Okay. So let's get started. I was doing some work earlier today. I literally just finished before the beginning of this, so I didn't have time to start up. So I'm going to start up an HTTP server. You don't need the HTTP server. I'm just starting it up so I can show. I'm going to use PHP MariaDB. I don't need to. I could do it on the command line, but PHP MariaDB just lets me. I can visually explain things much easier than doing it in the command line. I'm not doing the command line, obviously. I'm just showing you that you can clearly. Oops, I forgot to put start. So PHP MariaDB is installed, and it uses obviously the Apache web server by default. So that's why I'm starting it up. System start MariaDB. You could use obviously MySQL as well. It's a drop-in replacement, at least for this tutorial. Okay, so they started up. So as you can see here, I'm also going to start the PHP server, the development servers is the -s, then 0.0.0.0, colon, I'll use 8000. So I've started the development server as well. This is the one for testing this particular application. So we don't need this anymore. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it. I mean, I'm going to minimize it. I'll show you the code as I promised. So the first part here, we're going to work backwards, is we have the SQL. So this is the one to create the database table. It's going to be called URLs. Has an ID which you auto increment. It's an integer. Original URL, I made it varchar 2083. I could have used a text. And then the short code is going to be 10 characters. So our short code is never going to be more than 10 characters. That's going to be unique. And the timestamp created at default current timestamp. That's our SQL table. So this should work on most other databases as well. I think the only thing that you need to change is probably this one right here. The auto increment. MySQL decided to do it this way. For example, SQLite does it a different way as well. But most the SQL should work. It's a standard. All right, so then this is the code to shorten our URL. Because we're using the fetch API, in fact, we're going to use JSON. Unfortunately, PHP, even in 2025, doesn't have a put and get. So you have to use creative ways to grab the data if it's sent using something like put and get, the equivalent, which is just grab everything there. That's why the input here. And then we're going to use the PHP data object to connect to the database. And then what we do, we have a function here that generates a shortcode. So you can specify the length. Remember, the length can't be more than, say, 10 characters according to our database. Then we use a substring, string shuffle. These are built-in functions of PHP. We just run basically to just grab something there. And then it will grab the original the original URL, and we see I do sanitize it. So PHP also has some filters. So I use a sanitizer because you never trust user input. I've done this in several ways. I've shown you guys how to sanitize and validate. So we sanitize the user input. Then we generate the we run the generate shortcode. To this function up here. So we generate the shortcode version. Now we have the original URL, which has been sanitized, and the shortcode. Then what we do is create prepared statements. This is how we create prepared statements in if using PIDO, the PHP data objects. Just prepare, and these are placeholders. Then after that, we just execute and put in those ones, the URL and the original URL and the short version of it. So this goes into the database. So this is this will prevent SQL injection, because what will happen is whatever the user input, obviously we're filtering it, so but it will go and it will be put in that column as is. It will escape and all that stuff, whatever it needs to do. And the second one here, obviously we can trust that one, because that one we are generating ourselves, so that's something that we can trust. But this I still create a prepared statement for that one, just so that just to show you guys. This is a tutorial after all, to teach you how to use PHP. And then our short URL is going to be https://localhost:8000, because we're localhost. And so obviously if we're using some fancy remote, something's a public IP, we would probably either use the IP address itself, or we have something short. So there we go. Then r.php, that's our function to. That's the file that's going to actually grab it. And then you see the shortcode. So this will generate the it will append the shortcode for us, and then we just echo JSON for that. And then r.php. So there's very little here. All it does is, again, we connect to the database using the PHP data objects, PDO. And then the code, we see we get the code here. And then what we do is we, all we care about is the code, because it's going to be in the get stream. So what we do is we could sanitize it if we needed to. So what we do is we still use a prepared statement, and we execute. You see a code here, and then a statement fetch column. We expect one. So if there's a URL, then we just redirect to. You see that's this header one here, and then we exit. If you don't exit, if there's something going on here, it will just get stuck. So that's why we exit or die. Or you might see die as well. Else we say URL not found. So we'll test this out. And finally, our HTML. HTML is very simple here. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better if it's on a vertical screen. So we have the usual doc type HTML tags. The head section just have in the title says simple PHP URL shortener. We have the style. The style is subjective, so I'm not going to bother even going over this. You style it any way you want. And then in the body part, we have an H2 tag heading. It says PHP URL shortener. We have a form. We have an input, which is type URL. That's HTML5. And the placeholder says enter URL. It's required. Oh, this should actually have a name. Oh, it doesn't matter because we're using JavaScript, so the name is not important. We have a button to submit it, and it says generate short code. So then we have the URL list. We list all the URLs we have. As I said, it's very simple. So here we grab the URL form. We add an event listener when it's submitted. We use a sickness, meaning that we prevent the default behavior, which will be to just submit the form to the same page. We don't want to do that. We prevent it. Then we grab the URL from the get element by ID here. Then what we do is we use await. We fetch shorten. It's a shorten.php. That's the first PHP file I showed you earlier. We post it. We expect our content to come back as a JSON. So we also sending JSON. So we stringify the JSON URL, and then when we get the data, await again response. We make sure it's JSON here. If it is, we look for the short URL. If you remember back here, the last thing it says short URL. That's what we look for here. Where was I here? And then if it's there, we just create a document, create element, I think it's an ordered list, is it? Unordered list, sorry, unordered list item. In HTML, we just put anchor tag, href, and that's the data short URL. Target blank means it opens up in a new tab or new window, depending on the setting of the person's browser. Then after that, we append it to the URL list, and we're done. That's it. So let's go test out this code. So the first thing I need is I actually need this one here. So I'm going to copy this. That's the one I need. We don't need this anymore, so I can just get rid of all this stuff here. I'm going to open up PHP MariaDB first. Okay, so I think it's what is it? Localhost. PHP MariaDB. I'm going to use the same one I always use, the guy, which stands for generative AI. So I log into that one. Go to the guy database. Guy. So there already are URLs here. I'm going to remove those. So let me get rid of that. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. So I'm going to actually delete this database. This table, sorry, I'm going to drop this table. So we'll drop it. So there's no tables at all. As you can see, there's 0 tables. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the menu. I'm going to go to SQL, and I'm going to copy that SQL. I already explained the SQL here in case you don't remember. So that's it. Go down here and click go. So it's created it. So for example, I go back here. You see now there's a URLs table, and it's empty. There's nothing there. So next, I'm going to go to localhost 8000, and because I created it as an index.php file, so index.html, I believe, yeah, index.html, it automatically opened up here. So I'm going to grab this URL for today's tutorial. There we go. So it's ojambo.com /php -url -shortener -app. That's the pre-URL. And then what I do is I click generate short URL. You see I've generated the short URL. So this is the short URL. It's this one, and localhost, because that's the one that's going to be doing the redirect. So there's that one. Let's create another one. I'll grab this one as well. the contact one, the contact page. There we go. It generates, so it has created. You see, it created two of them. Now, if you go back to the database, there should be two now. If I hit refresh, or the refresh here, you see there's two of them: the original URL and the shortcode version. So there we go. So now, if I click on those URLs, it should redirect me to this one, and redirect me to this one. Remember, it's supposed to open up in a new tab or a new window. So let's try that out. So the first one is, I believe it should go to this page, the php-url-shortener-app on jambo.com. So let's click that. And it said, C cannot be found, site cannot be found. Okay, so I don't know why it says site cannot be found. Oh, it's HTTPS, that was my fault. It should not be HTTPS, I might have to fix that. Yeah, so it does work. It's because that was my HTTPS. That was my fault. So let's see if we can fix that. In the code, I have to reopen the code here. I think that's the r.php. Now let's open up with this. Why I shouldn't have closed the text editor. Where's GNOME text editor? I just like the way the names they use. What's wrong with you, GNOME? T text editor. There we go. Hopefully, okay. Here we go. Oops. Wayland. Okay, so oh, did it save it like that in the database? Okay, so this is not the file we want. I think I have to go to the shortener. What in the world? Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna fix this, and I'll show you how to. Oh, it's right here. I don't need to do anything in the database. That was the problem. It's just very simple. HTTP is what it should be. It should be HTTP, right? That's the fix, right? It's in the shorten one. So that's because that's shorten is the one that grabs it. So I should be able to fix this one. Now, that should be fixed now. So let's try. So that should be fixed. So if I refresh the page, it's nothing. So let's grab another one. I haven't been on this site for a while, so let's grab this site. Another site I haven't been to in a while, so let's copy that link and hit generate. There we go. So this link is here now. So for example, if I click this, you see it did redirect it. Oh, I should. So there we go. So that does work. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just. So I right clicked it. I think I'll just click it. There we go. So it went up. Yeah, there we go. So that does work. And let's do those ones again. So if I go to the contact page here, you see even if it's HTTPS, it still works. So I think it's this one. There we go. So you see it goes to the contact form over jambo.com, and this one goes back again to, because the first one we went to the PHP course, and the other one is this link here. Let's slap that there as well. And there we go. So it's this one. They should go to the same link, and you see, even if it's HTTPS, there we go. So it does work, as you can see. So as I said, it's a very simple application. Obviously, you can improve on this. I would obviously definitely use it's called a URL shortener. Obviously, have that and make it as short as possible. Yeah, you can easily, you can easily do things like that. It's not a big deal. So. Now, obviously, I try to use short URLs as possible myself, but I'm saying is that, jambo.com is pretty short, but I'm saying if you had a very long one, like some clients have a very, very long URL, so something like this, and they use just pure PHP. So something like this would be very helpful for them. It's just a short version. Now, be careful with shorteners, because text messages these days, they're pretty much considered spam. So just be aware of that. Obviously, if it's something that's like u.tube, that's for YouTube. So that's it. That's the tutorial. That's literally that tutorial. There's nothing else for me to show you today. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's finish this up. Okay. So I do have some learning resources for you. I have books. One of the books is called Learning PHP. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description, or you can simply go to Amazon and search for Eduardo Jambo. I have courses. In this case, the course I'm promoting is Learning PHP, which is available on jamboshop.com. The link is also in the description. If you want some coupons for the courses, let me know. I haven't printed any so far this year. I don't mind printing them right now if you guys need some. There's a one-time payment, and all you need is a web browser, because there's a built-in web ID for all the courses on ojamboshop.com. And finally, courses. If you need one-on-one programming tutorials, you can contact me on ojambo.com/contact. And if any PHP application services, ojamboservices.com/contact. The link for all this is also in the description. Okay, and then I also have other recommended resources. I live in a rural area. I live in a cabin, and there's no internet, and the cellular service is sporadic, so I use SpaceX Starlink space residential service. If you're thinking of getting it, please use my referral link, because I'll get 1 month free, and you get a massive discount. For example, right now in Canada, you get the equipment for free, so that's a fantastic deal. Anywhere else, the type of discount is duration, depends on your geographical location, but you'll get a significant discount if you're thinking of getting the SpaceX Starlink. And then that's my referral link. I also have an affiliate link. It's for this. It's the Honeywell HeatBud personal ceramic heater. It's a space heater. It's available on Amazon, so that's my affiliate link. That means that if you purchase it, I'll get a commission, and there's no extra cost to you. So this little guy has helped me so far during this cold season, and it's been cold. It started snowing every other day from mid-October. Right now, this is the 4th day it hasn't snowed. Obviously, the temperature has finally warmed up to 2 degrees today, and yeah, but it's been really, really cold. A lot of snow. Anyways, the point is, on November the 1st, I set the heater to 15 degrees, the furnace, 15 degrees. And I've been using this in this room here, especially just this little space right here, this much space. I don't know if you can see my hand. Yeah, where's my other hand? Yeah, so it's a very small space, obviously, just for my desk here. That's what I need to heat it, because that's where I spend the most of the time. I don't even need to heat this entire room. It's a small room. But for example, the bedrooms, the living room, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't need to be heated, right? So I save a lot of money on propane. That's what is used to heat this entire cabin. So I saved hundreds of dollars, or what is what I'm trying to say. So if you're thinking of getting a space heater, I highly recommend this Honeywell HeatBud. It's a space heater. Again, it's not meant to heat up the entire room, just your space, and it works fantastic. Now, it's not obviously, it has settings for low, which is 170 watts, and the high is 250 watts. However, it works really well. It also has a protection. You see, when it trips over, it trips this, triggers this, and you turn off. It's fantastic, and I'd rather be paying $3 to $5 a month instead of paying an extra, $200, $300, $400 a month in propane costs. So I'm perfectly happy. Obviously, I also dress warmly as well. All right, and then I have this algorithmic serpent. It's my first novelette. It's available on Amazon. It's created by me, Edward Ojambo. It's about a scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system, and that's the back. It's the pages there. So there's also ebook version. Both are very affordable. The majority of the cost goes to, for example, this one is printing and shipping, and for the ebook version, it's for storage costs. So pick it up here with me and let me know what you think. And I also have my first guide. I'm very happy. My first book, non-programming book. It's the Recession Business Blueprint. It's a book that's as a guide to help you start a business during a recession. Right now we're in recession, so I show you how to get business ideas, how to market them, how to, if you need mentorship, if you need to find clients, how to promote your business. All of that is there. Now so some things are timeless. For example, networking. You will need to network. So the way people networked 100 years ago, even just 10 years ago, is different from now. So I show you how to do a network. Not only that, I show you also how to, if you find people who you want to be your mentors or maybe to be your suppliers, I also give examples on how to contact them and how to compose letters, whether it's a text message, an email, or a phone call. It's the same thing. You how to, for example, when I was looking for mentors, mentorship, or just even meeting people, clients, whatever, I had to physically go there, shake hands, right? So the only good thing that happened during the pandemic is people got very comfortable meeting virtually. So I'll show you how to do that as well. Obviously, there's some etiquette, so that never changes. But I'm saying networking is a skill you need in order to be for your business to be successful. And so that's why I created the Recession Business Blueprint. You can pick it up on Amazon. There's an ebook version and a paperback version. By the way, for all my books, the ebook versions on Amazon, they're free if you have Kindle Unlimited. So pick it up if you have the means, and let me know what you guys think. Okay, and if you want to know more about me, I have a blog in every article I write. I write probably close to 100% of all the articles on Ojambo.com. So I'm a programmer, or some of the fancy people like to say a software engineer, web developer, and author. So you can read more about me if you wish. And you can see my book page on Amazon. If you need support, ojamboservices.com. I do consultations now. As well. I've always done them, but I didn't really mention them. What I'm saying is that I'm moving more into that now. And if you're ready to learn, there are courses on ojamboshop.com. And ways to contact me: you can fill out a form here for the comment, but please leave the comment to something related to the actual article. For example, this one is PHP URL Shortener. Obviously, make sure it has something to do with that. The other ways to contact me, the best ways to contact me is the contact forms. Ojambo.com/contact, or jamboshop.com/contact, or jamboservices.com/contact. All the main sites have contact forms. That's the best way to contact me. If you want to follow me, the channels, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. There, I live stream. For example, even right now, I'm live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey at the same time. Alright, and then that's it. I'm gonna put the outro here, and I also want to tell you that if you want to see what's upcoming, you go to ojambo.com, watch many live summit. You can see we've just finished this one, the PHP URL Shortener app. What we're doing tomorrow, we're doing some AI stuff. We're going to use the Z image turbo using stable-diffusion.cpp. So we're going to we'll most likely do a night stream as well. From what I can tell, the weather is supposed to be, I think, above 0 tomorrow, so I don't have to do it. That'll be like the 6th day in a row, I think, where I don't have to shovel any snow, hopefully. So yeah, I'll be doing a night stream, and then after that with some self-hosting stuff, and then we have a NetBeans one. You're gonna like this NetBeans. Yeah, I was actually surprised. This one is don't miss this NetBeans tutorial. We're adding like a co-pilot type thing to it. Yeah, it's gonna be, and also, by the way, unless somebody can change my mind, NetBeans seems to be the best open source text editor so far. I trust me, I spent the last week reviewing all the text editors we've done so here. So what I'm going to be doing, NetBeans is going to be the first one until the end of the year. What I'll be doing is I'll do a review of, for example, like the best text editor of the year. Obviously, it's going to be NetBeans and stuff like that. For example, like even when we go back to the AI stuff, would be what's the best, at least the open source ones for the year. Like what's the best self-hosted application, those type of stuff. That's all will be to the end of the year. Alright, so that said, I'm now going to check all the live streams to see if there's any chat requests. There's nothing on Odyssey, nothing on Rumble. Oh, BitChute, we have a new person today from Sophie Banking, talking about the AI bubble is popped, crash and burning, more Bitcoin stuff. Okay, thank you for that. YouTube, there's nothing today, that's okay. I'll let you guys go now, and I'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss tomorrow's tutorial. I also do probably a nice stream tomorrow's tutorial as well. Bye for now.